What's going on? On this adventure, we go mushroom hunting again. I don't think we're gonna suck it up this time though. We're at a pretty good spot. Problem with this spot is it takes a long time to get back here. I've already navigated a bunch of cornfields to walk back here. Just got in the woods. We're not done yet. I've got another half mile of woods, and then we hit the creek. There's no good way to get back to this spot. I'm gonna have to wade through a creek. Should be in between 2 to 4 foot deep right now. The water should be cold. It is 65 degrees, but the water is not going to be 65 degrees. Old growth spot. I've been picking this spot for about 10 years. First time I walked up on it, it looked like they had grown and died there. I mean, black morels as far as you could see. Over the years, despite my efforts of spreading the spores, things like that, mesh bag, all the stuff, people, not cutting out the roots, hasn't mattered. Each year I find less, but it's still enough to walk back here. So get back here, see what we can find. I realized the intro to my last video is roughly 5 minutes of me talking. We won't do that shit anymore. So I guess you walk with me with the woods this time. See what we can find. Found a piece of old pottery in the creek. Also, that has to be by far the most shallow I've ever seen that creek in my life. Thank God for that. It is freezing. Take a little break here. All right, here's the lowdown on the spot. This particular woods is split into 3 sections. So the gentleman I've got permission from owns this particular section, but there's 2 other sections that I don't know who owns. I do see people back here quite a bit. I've never seen anybody else hunt for or find any black morels back here. It's one of the best black morel spots I have. I'm not sure if they don't like them, unaware of there is such a thing, or just don't know they grow here. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit quiet. I normally don't come out to this spot unless it's really bad weather or raining due to work and other things. I have to hit it today because there's a lot of other woods I'm gonna have to spend some time in. So we got about a half mile before we're back there. Let you know when that happens. All right, we made it. Just walked up on the initial area and not seeing a ton yet. But we're definitely in the right spot. They're definitely up. Actually, that one looks like it's been up a while. So get to cutting. Hopefully, I'm seeing quite a few over there. So, all right, let's cut these down before anybody stumbles up on us. That guy's kind of fresh. Definitely would probably grow some more. I'm not going to be back out here due to time and other woods I have to hit. I'm not going to be back out here for at least a week. I think I'm going to take about everything I find today. Guys, pretty and kind of new. That guy not so much. That frost did a ton of damage. Whatever. That guy's a new and fresh. I guess the deal with it being this early, not a whole lot of ground cover, and the longer you leave these black morels in the ground, the darker they get, which means the easier they are to see. And that, sitting out there amongst a bunch of brown leaves, is not very hard to identify. That's about what we're after. That guy's perfect. Perfect. Another one past his prime. Little beauty over here, though. I'm thinking this patch goes on for a little bit. We should be able to get a pound or two out of here today easy, unless the area I'm getting ready to go down on, which is a little bit lower for whatever reason, unless it popped a little bit sooner. I think the first time I came out here, probably 10 years ago, I don't think anybody's ever picked this before. I think it's just a cycle of them growing and then dying, and it was just, I think I probably got 10, 15 pounds that first trip. And like I said, every year, despite my efforts, they seem to diminish slightly, but I'm still seeing some really nice stuff here. Would never spend my own money on an actual mushroom bag because a laundry sack would work just fine. But I found that dude in the woods a couple years ago, and so I picked it up. It's amazing what you find out here in the woods. And look, right here next to where I set my knife down is a gross old dried up son of a bitch. Okay, where's that guy? That guy was right there. Yeah. Just up a little bit. Okay. I saw a real nice specimen over here. I did indeed. That's about what we're after. That guy's perfect. Perfect. Actually, not only is that guy perfect, his buddy ain't bad either. Keys to finding the blacks, at least around where I live, is going to be poplar trees, tulip trees, and I don't know where a lot of either of those two are, but generally, primarily what I hunt is shagbark hickory trees. That guy right there, and it doesn't need to be an entire woods of shagbark hickory, because that's going to be really hard to find. But as long as it's one of the more dominant species of trees in the woods, I normally do pretty good. There we go. We are not really doing that bad. I got kind of nervous at first when we walked up. Everything looked kind of dried out, but it looks like there's decent numbers. I will get from this particular spot, depending on weather, rain, other variables, I will normally get 2 to 4 flushes a year off this wood. So I'll normally come out, I'll cut it down, give it about a week or so, come back, and a lot of the times it's better than the first round. Awesome. Okay. Kind of concerned at first that they hadn't rolled down the hill. But as you can see from these two guys, they have definitely came down the hill. A couple of really nice fresh ones there. I'll generally just walk through and cut all the bigger stuff, more obvious stuff, and then on the way back I'll actually spend a lot more time, get a lot lower to the ground, and see what we can come up with. Let's see here. That guy right there was certainly pre-frost. He is completely dried out and weighs absolutely nothing. But he's already released the spores. Well, no reason just to let him set in the ground. I'm sure after a little bit of rehydration, he will be just fine. I do not really eat the black morels myself. They're kind of one of those things that if you prefer the yellows, you really don't like them, but if you like the blacks and you like the taste of them, they're really hard to, they're a little bit more hard to come by than the yellows. So I know a lot of people that absolutely love them. The problem with them, as far as I'm concerned, is I like to drink beer nightly. Drink a few beers, and I've noticed, and I've heard from other people, what other people have said too, these have a really bad reaction to alcohol. There you go. There you go. Depending on what angle you're at or where you're at, you always will see farther off, so it's going to look kind of stupid me scrambling around and going back and forth over a bunch of places. Yeah, a lot of damage, but it's all right. Definitely worth coming out so far. Where were you? Time to pick them is when you see them, because I always do this thing where I'll spot one and then I'll be like, all right, well, I'll look around a little bit longer, and then by the time I go back to cut that one down, I don't remember what it was at. Okay, onward. I'm sure I'll come across it here. Real beauty right here. And see one hiding underneath the log over there. There has been a lot of wind damage out here this year to this woods. A lot of trees that are down that weren't last year. So not bad. Another thing that I've noticed, it's not based on anything factual or reality. It just, I think, happens to be the case. If you're looking for black morels and you smell possum or raccoon shit, look there. I mean, like I said, that's not based on anything other than about every spot that I find black morels stinks like shit. Straight up and down, just stinks like shit. Alright, missed a couple on the way. Must have stepped over them. Take that guy. I can take this guy over down there. Two for two. And that guy. Everybody see you, and I'll take you too, because you're nice looking. And There. There you are. I'll have you as well. Okay. That guy's nice. Probably poor form just to walk away from your camera and your bag full of morels, but I'll kind of knock these things around as I'm holding them. Most of this dry stuff has already dropped every spore that it's going to, so it's not the end of the world, but like I said, I do actually make an effort. Definitely on the spots that are what I consider solely mine. I do, geez, missing a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I don't know, I was worried about making a mushroom video. That was kind of lame. Not to say my other videos are some marvel of cinema. It's just, I didn't really know how much we could do with just walking around, but I guess we can play a game where you can look and I can look and you can comment down below how many you've seen me miss. Quite a few in that little area there. Now that I'm at it, you think we should pick this one? I think we should. Okay, we'll have you too. Okay. This tree right here has produced, for, like I said, about 10 years. Finding a lot around the base of the tree. The difference between the blacks and the yellows are, I find the yellows to be a lot more tree specific. I mean, a lot of people will say, well, I hunt this one elm tree or this one maple tree or this, one ash tree, and every year it'll throw a flush. With the blacks, I notice they mainly grow in an area of the woods as opposed to like at the base of that tree. That big tree has a lot to do with these in here, I'm sure. But like, as you've seen, we've covered, we probably came 50 yards from when we first started picking, and as I'm looking out here in the distance, there's a lot more. So enough talk, let's get these things cut down. Depending on how much energy I have and how late it is, we may hit another spot on the way back home, check for some yellows. I doubt it. By the time we get out of here, probably gonna be ready to drink said mentioned beer. So all right, let's keep looking. Sometimes I just can't find them again. All right. Getting there. I got a hider over here. Did you hear that old man noise? That was my knees, by the way. That was not a stick. And speaking of old man, I'm probably gonna do something I never do when I'm out here. I'll cut a few more, and I'm probably gonna sit down, smoke a cigarette, actually drink some water. People tell me that's good for you. Never do that shit. Imagine I have chronic kidney stones. Why is that? And then just be calm for a second. I'll probably turn the cameras back on, or off. I mean off. They're on right now. I'll probably turn them off, hang out for a little bit, just soak it in. I never look around. I mean, I was in the woods the other day, and I was thinking, man, it looks a lot like winter out here. And I couldn't figure out why, and I looked up and I realized there's no leaves on the trees yet. Absolutely none. No buds, really, even. I mean, most of the time when I'm finding numbers even halfway this good. The trees are fully leaved out. Weird year. Everything's different. Seasons are different. Times are different. Whatever. Alright, let me drink some water and click this back on. No, I said I was going to sit down and smoke a cigarette, but I happened to sit down in a big ass patch of mushrooms, and I just can't sit here. So let's pick them. Pick this guy. Alright, we're back. Here's this initial trail that we left off down there, and the line just keeps going. So, alright, still at it. I'm gonna start doing something I should have done sooner after I realized that the numbers were so strong out here. This guy right here is absolutely perfect. He is fresh. He is no more than a day or so old, and he's a good size. That mushroom right there in a week will probably be 5 inches. We're gonna leave him. We're gonna start leaving some of the small stuff. There's no reason to take everything today because we'll be back. Okay. We are, said it before, I might mean it this time. I think we're gonna start walking out of here. Now after I pick this mushroom. And then I loop back around and look for some more. And then I forgot what mushroom I was gonna pick. How about him? How about I pick you? It may not be the one I first saw, because I did that thing where I took my eyes off of it. I don't know where I told you not to do that. He's nice. God, smell nice too. And you may be wondering. If you're not wondering, I'm going to tell you anyway, so act like you're wondering. Maybe wondering how I initially found this spot. Let me tell you, I just walked through a lot of woods. And that's important to do. I mean, you can talk about tree identification and this and that and whatever, but you're not going to find nothing unless you put in the time, like anything else. Put in the time, walk the miles, find the mushrooms, go back there next year, and just don't rely on old spots, because eventually they'll crap out on you. So what I will do every year, this time of year, I will spend as much time cutting down old spots as looking for new ones. Because, like I said, eventually, either somebody will find it, land will change hands, you won't have permission, they can log it, make it burn down, any number of things could happen. So, always be looking for new spots. I will also tell you, this time of year is not at all a time I look for new spots. You know, if I'm looking for a new black spot, I will wait until, say, this spot's had, I don't know, one good flush. Coming next week, I will know if black's growing there. They should be up. They should be easy to identify. Then I'll look for a new spot. If it's a spot where I'm looking for a new yellows, I'll wait until later in the year when the yellows are huge. That way they're easy to find. I'm not looking for new stuff when it's, you know, elusive. It makes no sense. This one's up. Not only is it a couple of freshies, it's just a pretty little deal. Here, let's get you down there. Look at that. Nice. I am sure if we wandered around here a little bit more, we could find some more. At this point, I don't think I care. Alright. I didn't leave. Couldn't leave. Kept finding them. Done now. I dropped them out here on the ground. Let's see what we came up with. I'm not into counting mushrooms. I found 176 today. But I'll wait. I'll see what we came up with. Never mind, I won't weigh them because I'm going to give easily half of these to the landowner. I've got the in-laws to take care of and some other people. Long season, everybody will get some, I'm sure. And I'll probably sell some and buy some fishing equipment. All right.